let's try that again. So absolute disaster first time around, because couldn't actually get the trailer to connect, for whatever reason. Even dropping the air, dropping the tag axle, it just wasn't playing ball, so I couldn't get underneath the trailer, so just kind of had to back out of that one. It cost me 12 grand. And then of course there was no other cargo available in the area because Thessaloniki is quite small, so yeah, slightly annoying. But anyway, let's get into it. So this is the new FH6 that SCS have released today, along with the FH5. It's been a double release, so effectively it's 3 new trucks in the space of 2 weeks from SCS for Euro Truck Simulator 2. Long overdue, but it's nice to see the OG getting some love from the devs. And you know, I watched the live stream earlier, you know, and kind of like, what are you doing, mate? Easy there, drive. Like, just wait. Yeah, so just watching them earlier, like on the release, you know, it was pleasant viewing. It was nice to see, you know, some new trucks for the game. So this isn't the original SCS sound. This is Maxx's sound. Okay, he's rejigged his FH4 sound so that it's now compatible with the FH5 and the FH6 engines. So it gives a lot more immersive experience, because the stock SCS sounds are just absolute pony. I think that's one thing that SCS should really do is employ a proper sound person, because the sounds in this game are carried by the modding community. Like, as a real life truck driver, the air brake sounds that the stock SCS trucks make are just fictional. They never sound like that in real life. So you know, I always use modded sounds, whether it's Maxx, Krikebaum, Z mods. You know, it doesn't matter. I always use modded sounds. But anyway, so this is the new FH6. I've gone for the 780, so the big daddy of the range. But I haven't gone with the double XL cab. I've just gone with the normal size cab, because I kind of figured that everyone's going to go with the double XL config. They'll either be 4x2 or they'll be 6x4s. So I've gone for something a little bit different with just a standard cab config, and I've gone for a tag axle, so 6x2 rear lift tag, which you can see here. I like this colour as well from Volvo. It's one of the metallic colours, ocean marine I think it is called. Really nice colour, like it a lot. Think it looks lovely. Obviously the interior is FH16, and at the moment we are hauling 9 tons of vinegar to Venice. So we're hauling out of Athens, so we've got to run up through Greece, take a ferry across to Italy, and then drive all the way up through Italy. So should be a longish run, but a good opportunity for us to put the truck through its paces and test the pull of the 780. Although with just 9 ton on the back, it's not really going to hurt it. I mean, to be fair, it didn't even cause the tag to drop. I just lowered the tag because it's a bit easier, because otherwise the truck tends to wheelie when you've got like a light load on the back, so it's easier to kind of have it like that. This truck comes with the mirror cams. Obviously you can have normal wing mirrors on if you want. I tend to prefer the mirror cams, having driven trucks in real life with mirror cams on. They are a game changer. They save you having to do blind sides, and when you drive at night, they're a lot easier to see what's coming up in the dark behind you. And also as well, when it rains, you haven't got to sit there with your wind mirror heaters on, trying to frantically keep your wind mirrors dry, especially in the winter, and when you get all the salt and crap on the roads, you know, it can become a driver's worst nightmare. And the thing is as well, in the UK, if you don't keep those mirrors clean, that's on you. You're the driver at the end of the day. But word to the wise as well, because I have seen it happen. If you're sitting in services on a break and you think, oh, I'll clean my mirrors, just keep an eye out for who's around, because I've seen the DVSA go up, so well, it's called VOSA now, I think, or is it DVSA? Whichever one it's changed to now, I think it's VOSA, but well, it was VOSA and now it's the DVSA, one of the two. Anyway, I've seen them go up to a driver who was literally on break. He had two minutes left on his break, and he was cleaning his wing mirrors. And they said, "Oh, are you on break?" And he was like, "Yeah." And they went, "Well, you're cleaning your wing mirrors, aren't you?" "Yeah." "Well, then that's other work, so you're not on break." So he literally had to sit there and reset his brake all over again. You know, and that can cost you a lot of time when you're, you know, thinking, oh, especially if you don't get paid for your brakes, you know. So you've got to be mindful of that. Obviously, you could argue the toss and then say, okay, well, you know, they've got to pay me for the half hour that they've made me reset, or the 45 minutes they've made me reset. But it's still something to be mindful of, because, you know, they will do it. It's not, I'm not trying to say like, oh, everyone's out to get you. It's not like that, but it's just, you know, don't make it easy for them at the end of the day. So this is accelerating uphill at the moment. It's a fairly steep gradient, and this 780 is pulling like a train, absolute train, just whipped up that hill. It's not, you know, I'm aware that obviously the speed limit is 80 kph, but I don't care. It's a game, and the truck can do 90, so I'm doing 90. We'll never get there otherwise. So, you know, calm down. If anyone's like, oh my god, it's like, you know, in real life, if you can go 56, you'll go 56, trust me. But yeah, you know, not saying I condone speeding before anyone says anything, alright? It's a game. But anyway, thinking about this new truck and obviously the look, you know, the aero looks, I think they're an acquired taste. Like when I first saw the front of this truck, I was like, Jesus, what happened to it? It's like a formation of mashed potato. But in actual fact, just give me a little pop on the old wall, let them know we're coming through. But in actual fact, it's very clever. You know, when I used to be a tramper, I had a Volvo FH6. It was a FH500 and Euro 6, but FH500, and it was a lovely, lovely truck to live in. Because I'm 6'2" and I could stand up in the cab and get changed, and you know, the mattress was super comfortable. It was just a nice truck to be in. There was plenty of storage space. You know, it was one of those trucks where you didn't mind being in it all week. Don't get me wrong, there are some trucks where it's like it's a bit cramped in there, like, you know, the Mercedes Gigaspace cabs I actually find to be on the smaller side. But I'm not a small guy, I'm 6'2", you know, 18 stone, so you know, former bodybuilder, so I'm not a small man, but yeah, they're the Volvo trucks are good size. And what I loved about this particular launch as well was that Volvo themselves, as a company, got behind SCS and they did their own promo on the Volvo YouTube channel just for this release. Now I think that's pretty decent. You know, there are customers in real life that are still waiting for these trucks, from what I understood from the live stream today. So, you know, there are people in real life. There aren't many of these trucks on the road in real life. I haven't seen one yet, not in real life on the road. You know, I wouldn't mind driving one, to be fair, because, like, I can tell you just from driving this, very smooth. It's very smooth. Volvos are typically very, very smooth trucks to drive. You know, they've got really good gearboxes, like this I-shift gearbox that I think they came out with, it's got to be 10 years ago now. but it's so good. Obviously, it works on the pre-selection of the next gear for you based on throttle inputs and a whole load of other, what do I call it? Like data points within the engine, and what the truck is actually doing, and it will pre-select what it believes to be the right gear to not only optimize your work rate in terms of pulling the load, but also to optimize your fuel consumption. And I think that's pretty damn clever. Scania's Euro 6 engine did the same thing. The fuel consumption on the R series Euro 6s when that first came out, and then obviously on the next gens. The one thing I would like to see in this game is a makeover of the next gen's dash. I think that's needed. I'll just to point out as well, I've got the springtime mod in this from Grimes, so you might see a little bit more realistic outside temperatures. So let's go through the dash, and let's obviously, so you've got an informative dash. Obviously it tells you how long you've been working. I mean, it's got the symbol for other work, but actually that would be driving in real life. So that'd have the steering wheel symbol. So it's basically showing me that I've been driving for 3.5 hours. Obviously on the right hand side I've got the odometer, plus I've got the trip counter. So that's how many kilometers I've done in total. Obviously also in the top left you've got outside temperature, so it's 13 degrees at the moment, but then it is 25 to 6 in the evening, so you'd expect that temperature to drop. We are climbing as well up into the mountains, so it's like you're likely to see that drop. We've also got how long the trip time's been, so again it's the same reading as what's in the bottom left corner. You've got your amount of litres of fuel being burned per 100 kilometres, so actually not doing too bad at the moment. And then obviously it tells you as well, just below the outside temperature, how long how long until you've got to take a break. So we've got just under 5 hours. Obviously in real life you can only drive for a maximum of 4.5 hours before you need a 45-minute break. Obviously you could split that break and do a break of 15 and then a further break of 30 to reset your drive time. Obviously, but you can't do it the other way around, so you can't stop for half an hour first and then stop for 15 minutes. It has to be 15 first, then half an hour. That's for those of you that don't know that. So obviously going back to the display, you've got total fuel range there. You've also got the amount of litres of AdBlue that you've got left, which I think is a nice touch as well. And then obviously you've got what your turbo's doing in the top right hand corner, and then obviously you've got the speed limit of the actual road that you're on in towards the top right hand corner. Obviously yes, I am speeding, but I don't care. It's a game, and like I said, we've got a boat to catch, so we're gonna get after it. And then, as I said, obviously, so this is one mode where you've got the sat nav in the center screen, which I think is brilliant, because it means in theory I now don't need that mobile phone up there, and obviously I've got a bigger satellite display on the dash as well. But then if I click I again, I've got the classic view with the clocks. So if I turn the lights on, backlight, you can't really see anything at the moment. So I've got the classic view with the clocks. If I push I again, we've got a new view. Then obviously the rev counter moves down to the bottom of the screen, and obviously you get all of your tachograph information again. You also get your, I think that's your air over on the right hand side, which is obviously always useful. For the love of Christ, I hate the AI so much in this game for doing stupid shit like that. Because the bottom line is, if you'd have done that to me in real life and I'm fully freighted, I'll send you into the next life. It's that simple. You don't brake check HGVs like that. I guarantee you do that kind of thing to an HGV in real life, he'll roll over the top of you and you'll be dead. So don't be an idiot. But that's the one thing I do wish they fixed on this game is the AI. But anyway, going back, so you've got that display. Obviously you've got the bigger kilometers per hour or miles per hour. I push I again, I get the oil temperatures, but the rest of the display stays the same. Push I again, I get the water temperatures. Again, rest of the display stays the same. And I push I again and it goes back to having the sat nav in the middle. So it's quite a nice view. I kind of like having the nav there with all of the information around it because it helps me keep an eye on what I'm doing. But then obviously if I wanted to go back and have the classic look, I can do that. And obviously that tells me any radio stations that I may or may not be listening to. I'll stick the lights on full. Obviously at the moment you won't see anything because it's not quite dark. Obviously got some different readings this time. So you've got the fuel consumption reading there. And then obviously the total range on the left hand side is kicking down. I push I again, I get my tachograph information up. Which again, I kind of prefer having the tacho information there at hand because it helps me to visualize what I'm doing and I can start making decisions about service stations and what have you. There are mods in this game you can get, I will tell you in real life, particularly in the UK, if you are a tramper and you are out Monday to Friday and you are finishing late, you better know your truck stops because anything after 5 o'clock you will start noticing most of the mainline service stations on a motorway will start filling up and they'll be full by 7 p.m. and then good luck getting in. And then obviously also as well, if you are lucky enough to get one of those spaces, be mindful about where that space is. Can someone park across in front of you? If they do, can you still get out? Because that's something you don't want to wake up to if you've got to get up in the morning and get going to get to an early delivery and you find that some Johnny's parked right across in front of you. It's not ideal for you, it's not going to go down well, so just something to bear in mind. But anyway, back to this truck. So this is the FH6 interior as well, because the truck itself is an FH6. It's an FH6 780 of the newer FH6 type. As I said, it's a 6x2. Ooh, too quick round that corner. That corner was a little bit too tight. Nearly ended up with a tank slap in it. So yeah, that's the only thing you got to remember about tags. Is the physics on them. They don't like to corner quickly. But anyway, so 6x2 tag axle, rear tag lift. These will turn on a sixpence as well, so very, very good for reversing, especially into sort of tight gaps and manoeuvring the trailer. Very, very good at that sort of thing. Cheers drive. So yeah, very, very good at that sort of thing. Obviously the sound, as I said, is from Maxx. You know, it's just absolutely perfect when you get a sound that's dialed in. You know, it just makes for just such a better experience in the game as a whole, because it adds to the realism. I've also just like to point out the Jasper wheel pack that I've got works with this truck as well, so that's another sort of bonus that just kind of like brings a brand new you know, like look and feel to the game, especially for the wheels. And then obviously tyres is just, you know, the standard Michelin, Goodyear pack, because I've got Michelin tyres on this at the moment. I've also got, you know, IJ's mods running. I've got Signs for Your Truck mod as well, but that's obviously not working on this at the moment. They've limited the tuning spaces initially, but obviously more will come, and you know, the modding community out there will no doubt release versions of this with you know, mods on it, like additional tuning slots, that sort of thing. So it'll come. There's already mods out there for the new Iveco S-Way, and that's been out less than 2 weeks. So you know, the modding community is pretty quick for this. But as I said, there was a previous paid for mod with the FH Aero and also the FH5. Sanax's FH5 was free, but the and that was brilliant, and that was better than the FH5 and paid for mod that was out there, in my opinion. And also, I think the same person's done an FH6 paid for mod, obviously the Aero. But would I advise you spend 20 quid on it? No, because Maxx has obviously updated his FH4 sounds for the engines in this truck now. So I would just, if I were you, I would just say, okay, I'll buy those FH4 sounds for, I think, £3 or £4 it works out to be, and then I'll buy you know, the Volvo tuning DLC, and then just use this truck, and you know, you can do all of that for like less than 8 quid. It saves you 12 quid. Right, let's get through passport control. Lovely jubbly. Off we go. Lovely, still got that double beep. Used to have that in my Volvo FH4 in real life, so know that well. That double beep is, funny enough, it's actually the auto hold brake being applied. Obviously doesn't seem to do that in this game. I'll just apply the normal handbrake. But I love how the flare on the mirror cameras changes as well. It's a nice touch. Right, where are we going? So yeah, let's go to Ancona. Interesting, where's that? That's even further up. Where have we got to go? We've got to go to Venice. So Venice there. We could go to Trieste actually. Yeah, let's do that. Gives us a lot. It's more money, but it's a shorter journey. Right. So unfortunately, yes, we are now in the dead of night. Apologies about that, but it is what it is. It just means that we're closer overall. I think we are, yeah, just 300 kilometers from the drop now. Right, let's go. Let's get out of the port and get on our way. Come out a bit of a convoluted way here. So this looks like the road out. At least I hope it is. Is it the road out? It appears to be. Let's just make sure. I've not been to Trieste port, so okay. I've never done Europe in real life, not in a truck anyway. I've done it in car. I've driven to Spain and what have you, but driven all the way to Alicante and what have you. So I've done long trips, but I've never done anything in a truck. I don't ever remember Trieste being like this, and this isn't. I haven't got Pro Mods installed at the moment. This is all SCS maps, so I cannot remember Trieste being like this. But I'll be honest, I haven't been to this port in such a long time. that it could quite easily be this way, and I've just simply forgot. Which, you know, is probably more likely. But it's nice. I like it. I'll be interested to see in the daylight. I'll have to come back here in another video. But yeah, what are my thoughts on this truck so far? I think it's fantastic. I absolutely love it. I think it's brilliant. It pulls like an absolute freight train. That 780 engine. It's just got the instant get up and go. It just moves. There's no messing around. It just absolutely goes for it. Just trying to figure out what's going on here. I think this might be the official exit to the port here. Yeah. Cheers, dude. Right. Onwards, drive. Onwards. Let's go. We want to go up this bit. We don't want to go down there. So, yeah, we want to get up here. Just listen to that. Ripping it up the hill. Just eats hills like there's no tomorrow. It's like not a problem. I might take the next run on this through the Alps and just see how, you know, try and haul something heavy, see how it handles it. Because yeah, I mean, this just absolutely crushed it. I mean, I'm only, like I said, I'm only hauling 9 tons, so it's not like extortionate. I'm not quite sure what's going on with the brightness inside the cab though. Feels like the instrument panel is quite dim to me, so I might need to have a look at the settings for that, because yeah, it does feel like the instrument panel's pretty dim. So yeah, not sure on that one. I'll have to look into that. Yeah. It's just effortless. Right. Come on. Obviously being on the boat for that long, reset my rest period, which is a touch. So now I can just blast on through to the drop. It is 10 to 1 in the morning. I'm just gonna put my foot down here because this dude's driving with no rear lights on. Up to 90 and away we go. I'm just going to rip it along now because we need to get there. Loads of room. I'm going to go over a bit now. Obviously got a sharp bend coming up, so we'll just ease off a little bit as we hit the bend, because that is pretty sharp. Soon picks up speed again though. But yeah, interior wise, there's a lot of selections for the interior of cabs for these, so it's a real nice like bonus. I just think it's brilliant. Like, I mean, I feel for you know, the likes of Sanax or what have you, have obviously put a lot of time and effort into their mod, and will the community move away from it? I don't know, because it does come with an awesome sound, and obviously at the moment that mod will be far more tunable than the stock SCS trucks. So there is that, but obviously the upside to using a stock SCS truck like I use with I just basically have a stock SCS truck, like Scania Next Gens are my favourite, and well actually no, the Series 6 R series is my all-time favourite, but I just have you know, SCS stock trucks with tuning mods on them that you know, so because a lot of the time whenever they release any update for ETS at the moment, it breaks all of the modded trucks. It's just been an absolute nightmare. But you know, if you don't like it, don't run mods, you know what I mean, or just run the beta in compatibility mode. But still, I like this truck. I think it's great, you know, and yeah, I'm definitely going to be using this one a lot more frequently. I'll do some proper heavy hauls with it as well and see how it handles it on that compared to the 770 Scania that I've got. I mean, I kind of love the fact that obviously Volvo had the FH750 for ages, which was, you know, the daddy in terms of 20 brake horsepower more than what Scania had to offer on their V8, and then Scania came along and reintroduced a whole load of new engine changes and brought out the 770, and then Volvo have gone, okay, hold my beer, and they've come back with a 780 now. So it's like, you know, it's only 10 brake horsepower more, but that could make all the difference in a clinch. So yeah, it's something to note. Oh, I might just go through this one actually, because this guy's annoying me. It'll be interesting to see. Come on. Ah, I think lost all my momentum now. It's alright, we're in a 780, we'll get back past him. But it's just one of those things where, like, the stuff you can do with trucks now is just unreal. But yeah, I think credit to SCS, because when I was on the stream earlier, there were a lot of people asking a lot of what I would call fairly ungrateful questions. Like, they weren't just listening. If you just listened to what the people were saying, like Pavel and all that, they weren't. They were just like, oh, when's it coming out? When's it coming out? When's it coming out? So they've told you it's going to be out today. They're just doing the introductory launch, like, of it. So it was a bit kind of, you know, hold your horses. And you know, people are like, oh, when are you going to do this for the Scania? When are you going to do this for the Mercedes? It's like, okay, save those questions for like a Q&A sesh. Like, this is a launch stream. Let's be grateful for the fact that they've actually, you know, bothered to go and get the license from Volvo for the next 2 generation of trucks, and they've actually put them straight in the game. They haven't dilly-dallied. They haven't gone, oh, you know, we're going to hold off. They've kept on with it. Yes, we have been fairly long-suffering over the last year because American Truck Simulator has got a lot of attention and a lot of goodies ahead of Euro Truck. But I feel like SCS have listened to the community. They've listened to the complaints that we've made about not showing, you know, Euro Truck enough love, and they're doing that now. You know, obviously they've reworked Germany, they've reworked Switzerland, they've reworked Austria. They brought out new DLC. I'm really looking forward to the northern parts of Norway and Sweden when they bring that out, because in Pro Mods it's pretty breathtaking. So I can imagine in the actual SCS map it will be quite special. So yeah, you know, I'm looking forward to things like that. You know, but there's, you know, I can gripe and moan about stuff because it's easy to do that. But let's be positive about and grateful for what we have currently got in the game. Now, granted, I would love for them to do a makeover on the next gen Scania's dashboards, because they're now all digi-dashes. So they don't have the dials anymore, they're all coming with digital dash. So it would be great if they could do something like that. But again, you know, it's a wait and see, let's see what happens, you know, kind of thing. But we'll get there. We will get there. like sadly ironic that that's a Scania pulling a trailer that's labelled Volvo. That would probably hurt a lot of Volvo drivers. I personally don't care. You know, I love Scanias, and they've always been my favourite truck. But you know, I equally have love for Volvos. Like if I go back to the 80s and the 90s, like the Volvo FH6 and the FH12s when they first came out. My dad's mate had this beautiful blue FH12 Globetrotter. It was absolutely lovely. Really gorgeous truck. I went in it a couple of times. Really amazing. Beautiful truck. Absolutely loved it. You know, proper golden gem of a classic. You know, real old school manual gearboxes and all that jazz. But no, it was a lovely truck. But yeah, just, you know, I love trucks. I love being around them. I love driving them. I don't do it as my like full-time career because it just doesn't pay me enough money. You know, I have to provide for my family. So, you know, I have another career that I do, and I just drive trucks as and when people need me to help out. You know, and to keep my eye in, and so obviously I do a lot of time on Euro Truck because it's a way of still getting my truck driving fix. But yeah, you know, I do miss being out on the open road. It was nice when you got to the end of the day that you felt like you'd achieved something by being part of the supply chain. And there are stories to tell and everything else, you know, truck stops and you know, just having a laugh with other drivers at distribution centres and stuff like that. You know, it can be a very friendly industry if you're sociable, but it can be a very lonely industry if you're, what's the word, introverted, I think. You know, if you are not comfortable with, like, you know, social interactions and stuff, it can be a very lonely experience for you. So, you know, it's not saying that that's the same for everyone, because people manage. Other introverts may like it because, to be fair, when you're not a delivery point making a drop, you're out in the truck on your own. So you're your own boss. And that's the kind of freedom that this role does give you, because the reality is you're the one that's got to move the freight, right? So you've got to get the freight there. So it's up to you to do that. So you can be your own boss. Anyway, we're coming in to make the drop now. I'm just going to get over to the right. This has been an absolute dream to drive. If you haven't got one in your fleet, I highly recommend it because it's silky smooth. The gearbox is just like butter. It's lovely and smooth and creamy. You know, all in all, an absolutely fantastic truck to drive. Let's have a look and see. Let's just jump outside. Too late. Typical. As soon as you want to jump outside, the lights change. Interesting on the old hill start there. Right. Let's go around the corner. So all these lights won't change though, will they? Before I get there? Nope. Let's have a look when I pull into the yard, see what it's like on the outside at night. I bet that looks pretty cool. But yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure to drive this truck. It's been really silky smooth. I love the mirror cams. I think they're great, and it just responds and performs so well. Oh, this would be a fairly easy drop. Just going to be around the back. There we go. It looks nice. Light boards in a weird place, but otherwise it's really nice. Okay, so it looks like we've got a few containers to pick up out of here as well. So pull in and do a spinny. Whip that bad boy around. Always try and make it as easy as possible on yourself. You know, some people in these videos, they love to show off and be flash and be like, oh look, I can blindside it, and it's like, the reality is, when you've had a long day and you're back at the yard and you're frantically trying to get the trailer dropped off to get your unit back over to the unit park so you don't overrun a 15-hour day, you won't care. You'll just go for the easy option, like what I just did, pull a spinny and line it up as straight as possible with the slot. But yeah, let's have a quick look outside. So you've got a nice LED lights at the back there. Got the FH6 780 XL. Really nice. And then you've got obviously the interior. Alright, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.